At the end of the day, it's all about people, really. For me, at least. There's something in the balance when a voice, some words, and a collection of instruments can come together and harmonise on the same truth. Somewhere in the space between the notes, there's a thing that's existential and pretty hard to define. It's like a secret recipe that can close the gap, void language barriers, and bring people together from entirely different walks of life, even if just for a little while. The moment I experienced that from music, I was hooked. And the first day here, I definitely felt that all over again. So I thought, why not stay for a while? I first travelled to Dublin in 2014 with the sole ambition of going busking on Grafton Street, a place that has played such a pivotal role for many artists I admire. I guess I just wanted to immerse myself in the city and its culture for a while and see what it brought out in me. There's an energy to the people here, regardless if they're from Dublin or not, that's something quite special. The transient nature of this city means people are always coming and going, but an obvious common thread seems to be an inherent love for music. You make real connections fast here, and the passion for music runs deep. It was a Friday night after a long first week busking, so I headed towards Temple Bar, naturally getting lost along the way. Eventually I found a little pub to grab a drink in and unwind. I walked inside and sat down at the end of the bar, next to a gentleman who I figured must have been in his 80s, wearing a blue tweed suit. The first thing I noticed about him was the bright pink straw in his pint of Guinness. I smiled to myself and figured I better say hello. His name was Jim, and over the course of the evening he shared a bit of his story with me. Sadly for Jim, he had just come from his younger sister's funeral that day. And worse yet, she was his last remaining sibling, the last of his family. What fascinated me about Jim was, despite the grief and loss he was coming to terms with, he was still smiling and happy to sit and talk with me for a while. It's this kind of random encounter with a complete stranger and their stories that I treasure the most. That's why I love what I do. There's a lesson in all of them, for better or worse. Jim took a little time to teach me one simple phrase in Irish, Sláinte, which means to good health. We raised a glass, and the night carried on pretty well as expected. The opportunity to take stories like Jim's and collaborate with other people with a common goal in mind is something undeniably special. To take an emotion and hopefully make it translatable through music, that's what keeps the gears moving. I thank God my parents put a guitar in my hands when I was 4 years old. My life could have turned out very differently if they hadn't. I've been back to that pub a few times since when visiting Dublin, but I haven't crossed paths with Jim again. Who knows, maybe one day. In the meantime, this one's for Jim.
And we hide behind our selfishness, and we leave the ones we love. Pour me another glass. That's why I'm at this bar alone.